Thanks for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so tonight I'm going to talk about automated vehicles, also known as self-driving cars. And I've organized my talk into three different parts. First, indeed, the what, why, how, and when of driverless cars as an introduction, so you all understand what it's all about. Then I would like to talk about possible effects of automated vehicles on society, basically. And finally, some challenges and concerns, because we're certainly not there yet. But let's start with the introduction. Um, Thinking about driverless cars is certainly not new. Ever since cars were invented, people have dreamed about cars driving themselves. However, so far deployment has been invisible because of multiple different reasons. First of all, the technology has been immature so far. Secondly, there was no real market demand. There were no private investments, only public investments into research and development. And finally, unaligned stakeholders, because you can imagine um, car companies, suppliers, governments, road owners, insurance companies, they all have to collaborate to put these vehicles onto the roads. However, right now we're in a phase where these constraints are rapidly disappearing and large-scale deployment is coming soon. With the word soon, I mean between 10 and 20 years. So not really, really soon, but it's overseeable. And large-scale deployment, I mean that all these brands that you see here and many more are actually working today on realizing driverless cars. And they will be the ones in the end that have to put these cars on the road. So let's go to the why. Cars, of course, have brought some great benefits. As this billboard summarizes, you can go anywhere, anytime in your personal cocoon. That's what you want, right? However, they're also asking a major toll. First of all, accidents. Many people, actually millions of people, every year die in traffic, and a multitude of that gets injured. Congestion is another big problem, leading to travel delay. And congestion has another problem that we see here in China, pollution, because you're just not making efficient use of the resources. The how of driverless cars, and this is going to talk a little bit about the technology. Driverless cars are going to be realized based on active safety system technology. And active safety systems are pretty common in many modern cars. You can think about adaptive cruise control that holds a constant distance to the car in front of you. Automatic emergency braking that brakes the car itself when something dangerous happens. Blind spot detection that informs the driver about vehicles in the blind spot. Pedestrian detection and auto brake, just some examples. And all these systems have basically the same functional building blocks. They have sensors, radars, cameras, LiDARs, infrared that monitor the area around the car. They have a control unit or multiple control units that interprets this information and makes decisions. And they have actuators, braking, steering, throttle to do something, maybe warn the driver. So this technology exists, and it's only a question of evolution before this becomes automatic driving cars. So currently the industry is working on making sure that these active safety systems can cover all the traffic scenarios, not just 99%, but 99.99999% of the traffic scenarios should be covered, while keeping costs low. Also important, because it needs to be affordable. Be careful, 100% accident-free will never be possible. There's always going to be some exception to the rule. Driverless cars are also going to crash and kill people. The goal really is that we have much fewer accidents, so then we can justify these driverless cars. Just some examples of the fact that basically all automotive companies are working on driverless cars. Of course, you know Google. They have some cars on the road, but also BMW, Volvo, Mercedes, Toyota. Everybody has prototypes on the road today. Let's go to my next slide. It's a little bit slow. Yes. Second topic, possible effects of driverless cars. And in principle, this list is pretty much endless. A very small selection. I'm going back to my introduction. We will have less accidents, less congestion, less pollution. And in turn, we will have less fatalities and injuries, lower societal costs. And for example, also lower insurance premiums. If we don't crash anymore, why should we pay insurance? Also goes for medical insurance. But the list is longer. you'll see a productivity increase because of two reasons. First of all, we have a huge increase of road capacity. So cars can drive much closer to each other in the length, but also in the width. The average lane can fit 2 cars, right? Why don't we do that today? Because humans are swerving a lot, but computers can drive very close to each other. So we increase the road capacity by a factor, whatever, 5 to 10, with no extra asphalt. Also, the commute is no longer wasted time. You can do whatever you want. You can do your emails or just sleep a bit, relax a bit. There will probably also be changes in the urban environments. You can think of robo-taxis. That's also where Mr. Pearson of TomTom mentioned earlier. That just, yeah, you can order them with your smartphone or your Google Glass or whatever we have then. And then they will drive in front of your home and they already know where you're going and they drop you off and then they go pick up somebody else. So this will lead probably to less car possession. No parked cars along the streets maybe, because after the car drops you off, he can drive away itself to park itself in some parking garage or in some other parking lot where it's not disturbing the visual environment. You can think of robot delivery vans that deliver the stuff you order online. So maybe we have less shops. I don't know. In any case, the point is it will be truly disruptive technology. It will bring massive changes and maybe half of it we can't even oversee today. Let's move to my third part, because yeah, we're not there yet. There are some challenges to be addressed. And first of all, and this is the area where I come from, technology and safety. So we're not there yet. So in the coming years, we get more robust systems that can handle more traffic scenarios. Maybe at some point we have 99.99, but is that enough? At some point we should make a decision. Okay, now we think we can handle most traffic scenarios good enough to start deploying. Bugs, viruses, hacking attacks. That's a major concern. Of course, it's technology. People with bad intentions, they can possibly do some harm, so we need to have protection against that. And also, at least in the early stages, the driverless cars will be on the road. They will share the road with human drivers. You cannot change overnight from human-driven cars to driverless cars. No way. It has there has to be a gradual change, and yeah, how to deal with that, especially in terms of user experience. I'm again referring to the speech of TomTom. So the people who are still driving manually, they need to have some manuals, some instruction how to some guidelines how to deal with driverless cars. Legal issues. Are driverless cars legal already? the answer is we don't know. Nobody knows. They are on the road for sure. In the United States and also in Europe, we have prototypes on the road. But can they be sold already? There are some conventions, the Geneva Convention, Vienna Convention, that explicitly state a car should have a human driver who's responsible for the car. So what are we going to do with that? It's still an open issue. And also, can car makers be sued for accident caused by robot cars? If this will be the case, then car makers will be very careful with putting these on the road. Yeah? So maybe we need to have some construction, well, we have some funds managed by the government that people can get money from when some accident happens. But that, yeah, we don't hinder the car makers to put driverless cars on the road. Consumer acceptance, also still a question mark. If you ask people around, do you want to have a driverless car? Most people will say, yes, I can imagine at some point, for most of my drives, my commutes, I would like to have a driverless car. But when in the end, when they're available, will people buy them or lease them or accept them? How can privacy be guaranteed? Can Big Brother follow you? For sure, technology-wise, Big Brother can do that. He can even redirect you if he doesn't like where you're going. The question is, do we put laws in place that allow the government to do that or prevent the government to do that? Marketing branding. If all the cars drive themselves, why would I want to have a BMW or a Mercedes or a Chevrolet or a Toyota? And how are the car makers going to deal with that? How should car makers distinguish themselves? Public transport, professional drivers. Will driverless cars be the end of traditional public transport? Maybe, because we get personal public transport, basically, the robot taxis. So what are we going to do with buses, trains, taxis, and what are we going to do with bus drivers and truck drivers and taxi drivers? What jobs can we offer them? Yeah, a lot of questions. I don't have solutions for all of these issues. TAS International, my company, we focus on the technological issues, and maybe also a little bit on the consumer acceptance issues, but mainly on the technological issues. And we're supporting the automotive industry, the car makers, to make this happen. And if you want to know more about my company, or about driverless cars, or about all the other technology we have, you can visit our website. Thank you very much. Well, it's not only in China, but it's actually worldwide. It's basically the safety of the traffic. Many people die in traffic. It's the pollution, the air quality, and it's the traffic jams. So those are three major problems, and we have solutions for that, or at least we support car makers in building safer, cleaner, and smarter cars. Yeah, absolutely. If I look around on the streets, I see a lot of unsafe situations. A lot of people get injured and die. And you see very big traffic jams, and you also see polluted air. So that's exactly the things that we can work on together with the car makers. Yeah, we see that every day here. Yeah, we started 10 years ago with one person, and now we have 10 people. And in the coming years, we expect to grow to 20 people. Yes, well, our business model is to collaborate by definition, because we don't sell any hardware. We sell knowledge and software. And very often the knowledge is wrapped into the software.